together for Dr. Sanjay Sethi, Managing Director and CEO of Chalet Hotels Limited. There he is.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. That was wonderful. And thank you to the wonderful performers who we saw perform on the stage. So elegantly done.
It's an amazing initiative, and I really like what drives it completely, with all the attention and the quality that has been proven by Chalet Hotels. And I'm not, I believe in that. That's why I'm telling you I do have a background in hotel living. But I want to just ask you one question. You know, the second name that's there I mean, this is resorts, right? I mean, that doesn't mean that you can't have a business hotel.
No,
The second one is the
hotels and resorts.
hotels and resorts. Okay. So the second one is actually a business
That's right.
hotel.
So our brand is ATHIVA Hotels and Resorts.
Right. Okay.
The resorts could be a further extension of resort and spa. Hotel could be hotel and convention center. The random one, for example, is speaking about is a resort and convention center. So that's the fungibility that we have created in the brand, the flexibility and the agility. As we move along, we are able to address that. I think an important point that you would want to raise here is probably the positioning of this brand. So from our perspective, we see ourselves as the sweet spot is upper upscale. So just below super luxury, but above mid-segment significantly, right? So to give you a reference, and I'm sure this will come as a question, so I might as well answer it in advance. The Duke's Retreat, when we acquired it a couple of years back, was positioned at an average room rate of 8,000 rupees. Today, with the soft launch before we launched it as ATHIVA, is operating at about 14,000 rupees. So from a resort perspective, that 12 to 25,000 rupees is the space that the resorts will operate in. The business hotels will operate somewhere between 8, 10, 9,000 up to about 16, 17,000. So that's the price positioning. We are not comparing ourselves with other brands because it would be unfair. All of the hotel companies have multiple brands. We have one mother brand that we want to work with. We want to keep it agile, we want it flexible, we want it to live the spirit of joy.
Wonderful. And you'll also cross-promote it through all your other existing fantastic properties across the city.
Absolutely. We have wonderful partners in the other brands, and our relationship is very strong, whether it's Marriott, whether it's Accor, whether it's Taj, whether it's Hyatt. We're working with all of them, and they're aware of this. It's something that we made them aware that we're going to do our own hotels. But remember, it doesn't mean that we're not going to continue to work with the others. Each decision of a brand and a hotel will be decided by that individual asset. So if that asset, for example, I'm giving a small example, there will be many other destinations, has 50% of its target audience coming in from, say, US. We don't have a distribution system today for US, right? So I'd rather tie with another brand that has that. Now that could come in the form of franchise, it could come in the form of management contract, it could come in the form of a soft brand associated with ATHIVA. So here's a wonderful thing about ATHIVA. We can even cross-brand it with other global brands and Indian brands. So that opportunity is there with us also.
Last question. Others are also waiting. The list of forthcoming properties that you mentioned, you showed. How much time do you think that will take for you to bring them out?
So I gave a soft reference to them. As you know, the resort will open tomorrow at Kandala. We're expecting by January to rebrand the Vashli one into ATHIVA, a business hotel, but a stunning hotel. It's undergoing renovation right now. It's coming out very well. We expect the resort in Mud Island to be branded as ATHIVA almost immediately after that, maybe a month or two after that. The other three are greenfield projects which we're developing. We have 190 rooms at Varka, 170 rooms at Bambolim. We've got roughly 150 in the first phase at Trivandrum, but it can go to a 250-room hotel. It's a lovely 44-acre land parcel with a lake in the middle of the land parcel. So it's stunning. But that is not all. Our teams are working day and night of getting a lot more. This is what we can announce today, but there's going to be a lot more.
Fantastic. Godspeed, Sanjay.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Request you to ask one question per person. A lot of people put
We will come back to you if we have more.
Yeah.
Sir, here, Maria
Yes,
from
ma'am.
Money Control. Sir, just wanted to understand with ATHIVA's launch, what is the portfolio currently, the portfolio right now, and if you could share some in terms of the upcoming pipeline as well.
So we just spoke about it, the 900 rooms, 6 hotels. That's what is publicly being shared right now. Out of that, the first one will go online tomorrow. And there are a lot more coming. Shweta, maybe you want to step in and share some thoughts on this.
Thank you. Just wanted to add that we have so far, you saw it in the video as well. We have 3,350 odd rooms that are operational today with various brands, and we have a pipeline of 1,200 that has been announced. So what you saw on the list there is from that same pipeline. So don't go and add 600 rooms to that or 900 rooms to that. So we are on track for a 4,600 rooms in total, and ATHIVA is being branded from amongst the announced pipeline. I hope that clarifies your question.
You will get the copies of the presentation with you so that you will have the data points to refer to.
Yeah, we have a question here.
Yeah, this is Lokesh Shastri from MTI News. Firstly, congratulations on the kind of presentation that you have already given. It appears to be too good to be true. So could you share some light on your sustainability in the financial part? So how profitable will the business be, and how will you be able to sustain it with this kind of features that you have already offered and facilities?
So, Rakesh, it's like this. Chalet has been at the top of the margin contribution pyramid in the hotel industry for many years. Whether when we were private, we were still at the top. When we were public, we were still at the top. The number of the share. We operated about 44% EBITDA margin, there and about. Every asset that we decide to build or develop or acquire must meet those benchmarks when they stabilize. So that continues to be our goal. We have an investment matrix that we work off, which is very, very clear, that we will not do hotels which do not meet our investment thesis. And that is soft aspects to it, which is the size, locations, type of hotels, positioning. But there are also hard aspects and cut-off in terms of returns on investment, in terms of return on capital employed, IRRs. We will also, for example, and I think that'll give you an insight, we will not do 30, 40, 50 room hotels. It doesn't make sense. Unless they have a huge amount of revenue per room, right? So our cut-off point today is that on a stabilized stage, any acquisition or new development we do should contribute at least 25 crores of EBITDA for a business hotel and minimum 20 crores of EBITDA from a resort hotel in the first stable year. But that's the first stable year. After that, it continues to grow. So we do not want to take assets which contribute 5, 6, 10 crores of EBITDA. It dilutes our management time.
Yeah, go ahead. Can we have the mic passed around to her, please?
Hi, this is Rohini Chakraborty from the Telegraph, Kolkata. So as you highlighted that the millennials and Gen Zs are more keen to travel nowadays. So how do you plan on making it easier for them? And as we're talking about joy, so can we expect ATHIVA in the city of joy?
আপনার সঙ্গে বাংলায় কথা বলতে হবে কথা। But yes, City of Joy is one of my favorite cities. Personally, I would like to be there. We would like the city to create a demand that justifies more hotel rooms. Whilst the hotels there are doing significantly well, but we put in a big box, we want to make sure the business overall for the industry doesn't dilute with that. We've looked at Calcutta very often, and at the right time we look at those opportunities. We're also very keen to look at the Northeast or Darjeeling and all on the horizon from a West Bengal perspective. But from an operating perspective, if you ask how will we get our guests to get that feeling of joy, as well as how do we get the millennial generation to come in, maybe Gaurav, you can step in and say a few words.
Thank you, Sanjay. Sanjay's presentation alluded to some of the elements that come alive with ATHIVA. And I think as an operator, we are very keen to bring joy with abundance into the lives of our guests. Some of the elements that are coming to life in that is things like the binge box, which you may have seen on screen, which is that we've replaced mini bars to have a binge box in every room, which is sustainable in nature, which will be provided as part of your room. So it's just a small element in your stay, but when you check into one of our hotels at the ATHIVA, you will not get a typical mini bar, but instead get a binge box, which you can actually enjoy compliments of ATHIVA.
Yeah, and unlike many other hotels, our hotels whatever's there in the room is for your consumption, and it's already priced in, so you don't need to pay anything extra for that unless you order something extra.
Hi Sanjay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right, go ahead.
Is it on? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi, Sheila here. Just wondering, with the two rebrandings and 3 greenfield projects, what is the total capex? That's number one. And number two is in the kind of mid, like you mentioned, you were about the mid segment below the luxury segment. So in that segment, or in the segments above, what is the kind of upside do you see in tariffs?
So look, what we've noticed, I'm going to answer the second question first, is that in the last couple of years, the sweet spot for the hotel industry is exactly where we're positioning it, which is what is called as the upper upscale or upscale within the STR way of looking at things, or consultants way of looking at things. We are not confining ourselves to those horizontal lines that the consultants define as your positioning. We are amorphous. We are targeting the millennial Gen Z mindset and affluent travelers within that. And therefore, from that perspective, we believe that we will stay ahead at the just below the peak of the pyramid, traveling pyramid. On your first question, which is about investments, look, you should treat all in, including the purchase price, including the renovation and expansion that we've done. We expanded capacity from 80 rooms to 147 rooms. All of that included is roughly a 300 crore number. Most of it is already spent, right? 4 Points Sheraton, which is converting to ATHIVA, is undergoing a major renovation. So, and there is roughly a 60-70 lakh per room spent on renovating that hotel, because that also includes the public areas that are being extensively renovated. Your third hotel is going to have a soft refurb, which is currently owned by the K. Corp as a group. We manage it for them. So we are operators and managers for that hotel. And there will be some amount of capex, soft capex going into that hotel. But that hotel, I must highlight here, has a potential for expansion. And I think the location is wonderful. I see the current resort, Mud Marway, as something like the Taj Lands End was about 15-20 years back. With the coastal road getting to Warsaw and Warsaw getting subsequently linked to Mud Marway, you're literally being connected to Nariman Point directly in a half an hour to 35-minute ride. It takes 2 hours right now. So there's an expansion potential. I won't share any numbers. We're working on expanding that hotel. That's the third one. There's no spend by Chalet on that one. The 2 Goa hotels will, including land, cost us slightly north of 2 crore rupees per room. And there are about 360 rooms over there. Should come to my right in the numbers. And finally, Trivandrum. Trivandrum is going to be roughly under a crore a room for the 150 rooms that we're talking about. So you can do your math from there. But you must remember, all this investment is not on the brand. These are on hard assets. And that's where our strength is. On the brand itself, I think the fact that we have a portfolio to start off with, pretty much like all the other Indian companies, when they started off, they started with their own hotels. Right? If you go back 120 years in one company's case, or 70, 80 years in other company's case, it was only their own hotels that they ran under their brand. We're doing a similar thing, but then there's an opportunity for going asset light at some point. Sorry, did I answer everything?
Yeah, just wanted to know the timeline for the asset light model, like, and what is the
There is no time. At the moment, we're not even thinking about it. I'm saying we are creating an opportunity for future, a springboard for launch of an asset-led strategy, but that's not for now. I want to be very clear on that. In terms of reporting, please be conscious of this, that we are not looking at an asset-led strategy right now. This is for our own hotels.
Any more questions? The one there? Yeah.
Junaid from Outlook magazine. I have one question on the sustainability aspect. So for ATHIVA properties, if you can give some highlights, some color on what are the things and things that you think about.
I can do it, or I can even get Janvi involved, but let me, is Janvi around here?
Yes.
Janvi, you want to take the mic and I should do it? Yes. All right. Look, Janvi is driving a lot of this. So the first hotel, as you said, is ATHIVA Resort in Spa at Kandala. When we took it over, it was very dilapidated. The machinery was very old. The hotel was very run down. So we had the opportunity of literally cutting it out and redoing it. However, what we couldn't change was the footprint because of the sensitivity of the zones, etc. So we worked within that footprint. But whatever we've done, right from the design aspect, there has to be a sign off by the Chief of Sustainability at RT. Even when you're designing, even architecture and interior design. And what are we looking at? We're looking at material. Materials that we use should have a low carbon footprint. The energy consumption for that hotel should be low. The waste management should be airtight, zero waste, water waste, that are in the municipal lines, all done and treated internally and reused internally. Air quality we control through our wet scrubbers in our exhaust systems to make sure we keep that clean. But there are so many things, right, from every material. In fact, what you see on your table, the plantables that you see enjoying the house, these are all aligned with that. You've got to experience it to really know about it. We've gone to the extent of identifying all the plants and trees in that property, putting a QR code on that tree, so it gives an opportunity for people to learn about that plant. And not only that, we've even gone and researched on the types of birds that are there in that area and the sounds that they make. And our guests will get an experience through a nature walk to experience all this. Sustainability goes beyond just environment management. It also includes the local communities. It also includes diversity. Chalet has been at the forefront of diversity. Lindsay had earlier shared about the single one hotel that run all women. It is not that we decide, okay, put an all women run hotel and that's diversity. No. Our point there was create a talent base of trained women in every department so we can use them all over. Chalet was 13% on diversity, say about 10 years back, 11 years back. Today we are 24%. Still a lot of room for growth, but 13 to 24 is also a big improvement. And I think that's been the strength that we have. It reflects in our great places to work scores for women as well as all the employees and all. In fact, we will be listed amongst the top few companies in Asia to work for, including for women. That's also sustainability. Local communities. If you look at our menus, etc., that we've created, we've actually worked with local communities to create those recipes and menus. We are training locals around there to be employees of the hotel or create business models of their own. Recently, we planted how many thousand trees with the Navy? Sorry? 30,000 trees were planted by Chalet in the recent past. Partnering with the Indian Navy over there, and each of those plants have been planted either by employees or our guests, and they have a sense of ownership to those plants. It's not just about planting. We should be able to maintain and get them to maturity for them to contribute to negating the carbon footprint. And therefore, we're working on all that. Did I miss out on something? So that we've gone 100% electric vehicle in Chalet, what, 2-3 weeks back, or a little longer? Which means all vehicles, not only the ones that we manage, including the ones that are managed by third-party brands, are today electric vehicles. All of them. I hope I've covered the question. Thank you. Yes, please.
Yeah, one question.
Hi, good afternoon, Sanjay and team. Congratulations and best wishes for this new venture. Anish here from the business side. Just wanted to understand how should shareholders, investors look at it, this development from a P&L perspective? I mean, given that you have a new brand, I suppose you have some costs attached to it in terms of hiring that it may be requiring to create your own sales teams and perhaps a sales force and employees for these new hotels. And also to understand this would be, is it going to be housed in a separate subsidiary or something, or is it like going to be like, or is it just like a separate brand or like, and
So Anish, it's housed in Chalet, not separately for now. To answer your question on costs, look, we've been running these 3 hotels already ourselves. So there's no new additional cost that we're creating. We're already running those costs. What you're doing now is we're taking the brand in our, making our brand. So our outflow actually reduces to some extent. Not material for now, but good enough for it to be the first step to getting independent of the big brands. In the P&L side, we believe all these hotels that we're talking about, whether it's Goa or Navi Mumbai and Trivandrum, they are all going to be value accretive we will not do a single asset that dilutes our P&L. Our focus will always be to enhance the P&L further. So we expect them to contribute positively to the margins.
Any more questions? Can we have the mic here too?
Thanks. This is Swaraj Babundar from Financial Express. Just one question. ATHIVA, as you said, sits in the upscale and upper upscale segment. But there's also one segment which has gained a lot of prominence lately, where you've seen M&A also happening, which is the mid-market segment. Today is the day, I understand, for ATHIVA, but going forward, do you see potentially you venturing into mid-market?
So again, as I said, I don't want to categorize ourselves under some horizontal lines drawn by consultants. ATHIVA is amorphous. We want to be leaders in the respective markets that we operate in, the micro markets that we operate in, and we want to address the higher end of the target audience there for that local market. Mid-market, and I've run mid-market hotels. I was the founder of Keys Hotels many years back. I'll tell you what the challenge with mid-markets is, and that's why we don't like mid-market. When I talk about mid-market, I'm talking really about budget, above budget travel. Most brands have called it now mid-market because it sounds better. But they're primarily budget hotels. Margins are tight, and they're very sensitive to geopolitical and financial situations. Luxury, mid-market and below are the most sensitive segments of the hospitality industry. The person who's using the upper upscale is traveling either for work or leisure. For work doesn't stop, work continues. Companies pay for it. And when companies pay for it, you're either positioning an upscale or an upper upscale, because that's what the typical per diem is for people out in the travel. From a leisure perspective, I believe it's going to grow. The majority of it it's going to grow is going to migrate towards this upscale and upper upscale segment. The millennials, which are the propensity to pay because their earnings are increasing significantly, and they are doing this sometimes traveling at the cost of savings. They don't want to stay in mid-market budget hotels. They want experiences of good quality. So what's defining our positioning is not mid-market, upper upscale or upscale. It is by the high-end experiences that we are offering, and therefore there's a price to high-end experiences, and that's where we position. And we are very confident that this is going to be the top moving segment in the industry. Are we done?
Is there one last question?
Yes, sir.
We'll take the last two questions. Yeah.
Could you throw some light on your marketing strategy and expansion plans, particularly if there is anything in pipeline overseas?
So we have nothing on pipeline overseas. We believe the India opportunity is very strong, and any capital that is spread thin beyond India today is not going to give you the returns that you get in India. So we believe massively on the India story. ATHIVA is founded as an Indian brand. The foundation is Indian. I don't know whether you noticed this. We call it warm Indian hospitality. I have consciously removed the word traditional warm Indian hospitality, which is typically used. So what we're doing is we are serving contemporary warm Indian hospitality. Now, from that perspective, the market is India, the whole world is coming to India to grow their brands and invest in India. There's no reason for us to go out and dilute ourselves thin. Geographical diversification, we're doing within India. We still a lot more to cover in India. So we will get we will execute a strategy that's going to cover a larger geography within India. We are addressing a new market for India, which is going to be deep, and at least for the next 10 to 20 years, seems very strong. We are addressing a segment which for us as hoteliers is also profitable, because the young millennials don't want 10 people hovering around them or when they're dining. They don't want to be asked 10 times, is the food okay or not? They want to be asked once or twice to see if everything is okay, then get out of their face. They have their own things to do, don't disturb them. And that's the theme that we follow with. And therefore, true to Chalet, what we've done in the past, we run with high productivity on the employee side, we work with high cost efficiencies, but more importantly, and that's the takeaway, is revenue leadership. Each of our hotels are revenue leaders. And then the cost capabilities drive the high margins.
Hello, hi, this is Sanjay Sethi. I'm Rachna from Soul of Hospitality magazine. First of all, congratulations on the launch of ATHIVA. I'd like to know if there is a significance behind the name ATHIVA or a story behind it.
Very interesting question. Yeah, so we worked with brand consultants for an extended period of time, and we rejected close to 100 names. I think how ATHIVA came about was in one of those meetings that was happening online. And while I was speaking to them, I was also Googling, and my focus was on ATHIVA, right? And I was looking for names similar to ATHIVA, which is, yes, within the Google network. And ATHIVA popped up, and I thought that sounded really cool, number one. Number two, it resonated very well with our principles, our belief, and where we wanted this brand to position. Abundance and abundance of joy, abundance of wellness, abundance of care. These are the three operating phrases here. It just gelled so well, and everyone loved it. And then, besides the name, which is ATHIVA Hotels Resort, that ribbon came into being. And the ribbon actually is a continuous flow of free form of life. And it has got 4 colors. I'm very bad with color names, they're very specific colors, I'll let the rest share those with you. But there are 4 colors which are signifying joy for you. And that's where this theme sort of moves around. That's the name story. We needed to have .com also available, right? So that was one of the criteria, and it needed to be small.
I think with that, thank you so much, Sanjay, for answering all these questions. So many questions means people are curious and excited at the same time. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to move for lunch. I want to take this opportunity to thank each one of you for being here. If you have any questions, we have the entire team here. They are happy to answer your questions. Thank you once again to ATHIVA, to New Beginnings, to Abundant Joy. Thank you once again.
सर आज आप यहाँ अतिवा के लिए आप आए और यहाँ पर इतना बड़ा लॉन्च है और इतना बड़ा ब्रांड आपने क्रिएट किया है, कुछ आप शैलेट होटल्स के बारे में आप बता सकते हैं और फिर अतिवा ब्रांड के बारे में.
So Chalet Hotels has been in existence for the last 25 years. Today आज हमने ATHIVA ब्रांड लॉन्च किया है. ATHIVA होटल्स एंड रिजॉर्ट्स हमारा खुद का ओन्ड ब्रांड है, जिसमें जितने भी होटल हमने आज लॉन्च करने के साथ अनाउंस किए हैं वो हम ओन करेंगे और उनको ऑपरेट भी हम ही करेंगे ATHIVA ब्रांड के अंदर. फर्स्ट होटल जो इसमें होगा वो ATHIVA रिजॉर्ट एंड स्पा खंडाला में कल खुलेगा, जो हमारा ATHIVA ब्रांड के अंदर फर्स्ट होटल है. ATHIVA होटल्स जो हमने आज ब्रांड लॉन्च किया उसके साथ हमने टोटल 6 होटल्स अनाउंस किए हैं. ऑल 6 होटल्स विल बी ओन्ड बाय Chalet होटल्स. उसमें से 3 ऐसे हैं जो आज ऑलरेडी अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन या लाइव कंप्लीशन पे चल रहे हैं, एंड वी शुड बी एबल टू हैव दोज फर्स्ट 3 ready in the next 6 months or so. The first one as good as tomorrow, the second early next year, and the third a few months after that. जो बाकी के 3 हैं वो उनमें से 2 गोवा में हैं और 1 त्रिवेंद्रम में है. वो 3 ग्रीनफील्ड एसेट्स हैं जिनको हम कंस्ट्रक्ट करेंगे और उनकी प्लानिंग और डिज़ाइन स्टेज पे आज काम चल रहा है, जो मेरे हिसाब से अगले 2 से 3 साल में कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. हमने बहुत रिसर्च करके ये ब्रांड के जो की पिलर्स हैं उसको चुना है. उसमें से एक और बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट पिलर हमारा जॉय है, दूसरा वेलनेस है और तीसरा सस्टेनेबिलिटी है. जॉय का पिलर हम बिलीव करते हैं कि आज जब कोई ट्रैवल करता है, चाहे वो बिज़नेस के लिए ट्रैवल करे या लेजर के लिए, और पर्टिकुलरली जब लेजर के लिए ट्रैवल करे, तो ट्रैवलर्स आज ढूंढते हैं कि उनको अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस ऐसे मिले जो यूनिक हों और जो खुशी दें. एंजॉय उसी पिलर को एक्टिवेट करने के थॉट के साथ हमने अपने ब्रांड में इनकॉर्पोरेट किया.
से हमारा जो ब्रांड है उसकी पोजीशनिंग हमने सोची है कि जेन ज़ी और जो मिलेनियल माइंडसेट है उनके लिए हो। उसके साथ जॉय का जो पिलर है उसको हमने कई चीज़ों से एक्टिवेट किया है अपने होटल्स में। मैंने एक एग्जांपल प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में भी दिया था कि हमारे कमरों में मिनी बार की जगह एक बिंज बॉक्स होगा जिसको रूम के साथ इंक्लूड किया जाएगा। सो वो बिंज बॉक्स जो है उसमें जो आइटम्स हैं वो हमने बहुत सोच के चुने हैं एंड उसके उन आइटम्स को एक्स्ट्रा चार्ज पे नहीं रखा जाएगा। प्लस हमने कई ऐसे एक्टिवेशंस किए हैं अपने होटल्स में जहाँ पे आपको कुछ ना कुछ छोटा ऐसा मिलते रहे जो खुशी लाए। एक एग्जांपल संजय ने दिया था प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में जहाँ पे बात हो रही थी कि अगर पूल साइड पे कोई रेस्ट कर रहा है या स्विमिंग कर रहा है या सनबेदिंग कर रहा है, उसको अगर एक लॉली मिले और वो फ्लेवर्ड लॉली हो, मैंगो फ्लेवर्ड या लेमन फ्लेवर्ड लॉली हो, वो खुशी लाती है। चाहे वो किसी हिसाब से थोड़ी मीठी हो सकती है पर ओवरऑल जो खुशी उस लॉली को खाने से मिलती है वो हम चाहते हैं कि हर कस्टमर अपना एक्सपीरियंस करे अथीवा। मुंबईकर्स के लिए ये है कि हमारा जो पहला होटल है वो मुंबई से 1.5 घंटे दूरी पे है। ड्राइविंग टाइम बहुत ही आसान है, आजकल रोड्स टू पुणे बहुत ही अच्छे हैं और वहाँ आप बहुत आसानी से पहुँच सकते हैं। तो मेरा ये कहना होगा कि अगर आपके पास थोड़ा भी टाइम हो तो आके हमारे अथीवा रिजॉर्ट एंड स्पा खंडाला पे एक्सपीरियंस करें और आपको इसका मज़ा लेने का मौका मिले।